Morning, y'all. I've been seeing something floating around the internet. I saw it on a couple comments on my videos. I don't want to sound 50-50 on the term. I think it does more good than bad, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it does more good than bad. I think it inspires a lot of people. I mean, how it hit me when I first heard it is it seems inspiring. Like there's some good energy behind it. I think it's kind of like a gun, right? Where you can use it for safety, or you could use it to make a marginalized or make somebody in a specific socioeconomic situation feel a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Or in general. I mean, if you use this term incorrectly, you could be enabling something, right? You could be saying you agree with something horrible, right? Something horrible could happen to somebody, and you could say, you know, if you didn't do this, then you decided that was okay, right? The term is, if you don't change it, you've chosen it, right? And I've heard it be thrown around a couple different ways. Like some people word it a little bit differently. There might be like a better wording of it out there, probably from the original person that made it. Probably, it's not really worth researching though. It's a term, you know what I mean? So if you don't change it, then you've chosen it, right? I don't know, man. I think that let's say you got a job and easy to get that job, but you just don't like the pay, right? So you strive hard to change that situation, right? You strive hard to, you want to be in a better situation, so you strive hard for that. That kind of makes sense, right? Like you're striving hard for it. Okay, so if I'm complaining about not making the hourly wage that I want, but I have the ability to make more money, if I have the ability, then it makes sense to say, hey, well, you got to get out there and go, go try to make it work. It does. But there are situations, I think, where people don't have the ability to change that as easy as you think that it is, right? Like, for example, I'm not sure what's going on in Milwaukee. I don't know, right? But if I tell somebody, hey, based off my California experience, you can get out there and go do X, Y, and Z. And they say, first of all, there's a job shortage. There's all this going on. There's that going on. There, you know what I'm saying? They give you a list of things that are kind of holding them back, right? Does that mean they're not trying? No. It just means, maybe it's a lot more difficult for that person. So just saying, hey, if you haven't changed it, you've chosen it, is, I don't want to say not as sensitive of a thing to say, right? But I'll say this. It's like an easier said than done scenario. You know what I'm saying? If you continue to spoil your kid, right? And you notice that they're becoming rotten, right? They're becoming like, they're rude, they say crazy stuff, they expect things, you know what I mean, from you, from everybody. They're just not, people are wondering like what's going on or whatever. If you see that and go, damn, I need to stop spoiling them, and you just decide not to stop spoiling them, you've chosen the outcome. You've chosen, you know what I mean? And that term seems so matter of fact. It seems so like, oh, well, just do that and everything's okay. Like, you know what I mean? It definitely does not apply to everything. And I think that throwing it around in arguments and in discussions and stuff like that it can get crazy, because if you have not properly understood the situation somebody's in and you throw it out there, it looks almost like you're saying, hey, for me in my life, in my time that I've been alive, in this particular city, in this state, and here, this is what's worked for me. So do it. And it's like, kind of weird shit is that? Like, do what you've done in your life, or you know what I mean? Now, granted, there's things you can say would work kind of cookie cutter, right? But if somebody's telling you, hey, this ain't working for me, you know what I mean? This ain't as easy for me. You got to hear that and go, okay, right? That's, at the end of the day, you have the most information about your lived experience. I can't argue with you about your lived experience. So there was a discussion on one of the videos It looks like a comment thread. By the way, I appreciate any comments, any type of like that's amazing to see people discussing things amongst themselves under a video that I made. That's such a blessing right there. That to me is worth more than whatever they say, like whatever monetary gains you get from YouTube these days. Like that right there, like fellowshipping and having discussions, disagreeing, agreeing, whatever, liking that, like that's crazy to me. Like that's what it's about. Cause that's where I'm at. Like I'm in comments, you know what I'm saying? So I never even thought that that would be something that I would experience. Hopefully I experience it more as time goes. But that's up to me. That's my job to make that happen. But yeah, man. So I'm looking at that thread, right? And one of the things that I realized is that people kind of attack like everybody attacks life a little bit differently, right? There's different ways of doing it, right? Like some people say, you know, I will save $1,000. You know what I'm saying? By the end of this month. And some people say, I want to save $1,000 by the end of this month. And I think that certain people have to come up with almost an algorithmic, like some sort of like algorithmic rule, right? This must be this, if this, then that type of thing, right? This must happen if that, that's how they help themselves, um, uh, conquer different things, different hurdles in their life, right? That's how they go about it. That's what helps them the most, and they get really good. They get a good outcome from that. Other people, they can just kind of just say, cool, I'm gonna wake up and do this. I want to go do this. And them wanting to go do this, the same outcome. They go and do it. But I find that like some of us assume that just having like just creating like word like stating some sort of rule and living by a certain rule, it creates more of a creates a better outcome, or gets them a little bit better, like they become more successful in life, right? Like the people that believe in manifestation, right? If you believe in manifestation, your thought process is is this, right? You put it out there, you say it, you speak it, you believe it, right? And that's cool. In my personal opinion, right? I'm very black and white, unfortunately, but in my personal opinion, I think that you I think that you can, if you like, I believe that if it's on your path, if that's on your path, you can say it, you can do it, you can, doesn't matter, right? Like for example, if you're late to work because a car accident happened, but you told yourself, I will be on time to work. If God decides that you're not going to be on time to work, or if something's put on your path by God, right? Then that's kind of what's going to happen. You're either going to be late to work or you're going to be on time. Proclaiming whether or not you'll be late to work is your brain, right? It's your brain literally it's your brain literally saying, hey, this is like you're telling yourself you're going to do it, right? And you believe it. But you believing whether or not you're going to do it doesn't always dictate whether or not you're going to do it. Kind of get what I'm saying? Like if you can't do it, you can't do it. I don't know. I think it makes more sense to try really hard to do something, plan to do it, work on what it takes to be successful at doing it, and then just do it that way, right? Because if something pops in front of you, it doesn't matter if you told yourself you spoken into existence or not. It's not gonna happen. That's just my opinion. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to say it's more logical. I would just say I'm black and white. And a lot of people live in the gray area. And to be real, the gray area is more interesting, bro. You yeah, if you don't join me here in black and white if you don't have to, because it's not fun. It's just it's just, it's very binary. It's ones and zeros. You know what I'm saying? But again, that person like not that person, but the people that use that term or shit, the person that came up with the term, right? It's something very clickbaity. And I'm also hearing a lot more stuff lately, since social media has been a thing, and it's been a thing. Was it 10, 15, was it 15 to almost 20 years? It's been a thing, right? And people are coming up with things to say, like these crazy absolute things to say, like, you know what I mean? All encompassing terms and sayings and stuff like that. And they're interesting for people to click on and learn about. And they go, oh, you know what? That's true. If you know what I mean? If you don't change it, you've chosen it, right? And don't get me wrong, like if it helps you, it's cool. And honestly, it's not going to help you. It'll make you feel. It'll motivate you probably to do something positive. And honestly, that's a good enough outcome to me. But my thing is, the reason why I'm kind of discussing it from this standpoint is, don't use it to make somebody else feel as if they've chosen something, if it's very difficult for them to get out of something, right? That's a big deal. Also, don't tell people, like read the room, like realize the scenario that they're in first. 9 times out of 10 you won't, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what situation that they're in. You know what I'm saying? But kind of think about that. It's not a debilitating mindset. It's not a mindset that's going to cause an issue if you're living by that rule. And nothing like that. Like I said, it seems like it does more good than bad, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, right? But don't use it in a way. Don't turn it into a weapon, because I guarantee you, it might have been made to be a little clickbaity or whatever, but I think that the overall energy from it is positive. I think it's supposed to make you be proactive. You know what I mean? Some people need a little bit of a swift kick in the ass to be more, proactive. I don't know, man. If you don't change it, if you haven't changed it, then you've chosen it. I don't know. I feel like it works for like surface level things, like being late to work or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it works for that. It just, for serious things, man. There needs to be more context to it. So if you use that term without context, I don't know. You, you might be cooked. I don't know. Just my opinion. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. I don't want to drag videos out no more. Talk about whatever. So I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. But think about that. Just let me know, what your opinion is on that in the comments. Yeah, I'm interested to hear, how it helps you. And feel free to argue. I don't, whatever. I mean, but just let me know how it helps you. Because, like I said, I think it does more positive than negative. A lot more positive than negative. I think it's like a gun. It's the owner of the gun, not the gun. The gun don't wake up and kill anybody. The owner does, right? So that's my opinion on it. But I'm gonna holler at y'all, man.